and welcome to Add More Zest. My name's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147. So now my square one has been dekitted, finally. It is time for me to kit up my 30 by 40 round painting. This is also from Deals. And yes, I have an inventory sheet, which is great. I have lots and lots of bags of little diamonds, and I'm going to use this little case that I've not used for a while. I think this was from Fan Cells. I'm pretty sure it was from Fan Cells. It should be linked in my favourites, I think. Again, I think. I do need to update my favourites and make sure that sort of all my recent stuff that I use is in there. So I'll have a look when I do that. But this has 24 different sections. There is 20 different colours in here. Colour 778 has 8 bags. May or may not fit into one pot. And then I have 41 of 3865 that I might just bob in the extras. We'll see. So that is what I'm planning on using. My battery is flashing on my camera. Absolutely awesome start. This is what happens. So I'm going to see if it'll last. Just as I say, I'm going to see if it lasts any longer. Of course, it does not. But I did use the opportunity to grab my cover paper sheets because I forgot to bring those in before I was done. So I'm going to cut these as close as I can to the symbols because I also want the DMC numbers available, and they use round symbols on these because they're round diamonds, which I think is pretty sweet. That looks like it's going to fit just, so let me trim the bottom one off and grab my Xyron sticker maker. Gifted to me, has been an absolute dream. And it's too wide to do 2 together, but I can get 1 set in there and then rub over the top to make sure that any excess sticky gets picked up on this top sheet. So all the extra sticky around the sticker, this middle part hasn't got any sticky on it because it's on the back of the paper, which is exactly what I want. And then I'm gonna cut and sticker it first, because in this, of course, most of it is 3865, which is the background. There was one colour that does have 8 bags, which may or may not need leave a bag extra. But what I might do, I may or may not just keep that bag floating about, because what I think I'm going to do is, because there's 20, that'll leave me 4 extra bottles. I think I'm just going to bob all the 3865 into the extra bottles and use it that way. Let me make sure the zips are all the way. That helps it to stay open. And I'm going to number it in the same order that they give them in. Their symbols are actually 1 to 8, and then they go to letters. Normally, if I am organising by symbols, I will do the letters followed by numbers. It's just a way that works in my head. But I'm not major precious about that. So if it works, because this is in DMC order, by doing numbers and then letters first, these do hang over a little bit over the edge, but if they start peeling up, I'll cut them down the middle and overlap them. But for now, I think it'll be all right. Just need to try and get them as far over to the edge as I can. before I stick the rest down. But I need the DMC numbers when I de-kit. But yeah, I can cope with the numbers being before the letters. I could rearrange them. I could still put the letters in, you know, in the bottles first, or I could do it all and then just rearrange them and move them about because they are separate bottles. But to be honest, I don't think it's not that complicated because it is in an order. They do provide it in an order. So as I say, Q-Deals do it numbers and then letters. If they were all mixed up and the letters weren't in order of the alphabet, then I would rearrange. But because they are in alphabet order, let's not complicate my life. And let's just do it in the order that they provide them, because I'll be so grateful when it comes to de-kitting. So all the rubbish out the way. Let's get my bin. It's still got stuff in from last time. Awesome. It's still got the Diamond Art Club in. Let me go and empty this out. Okay, take 3. Bin is now empty. I got rid of the paper sheets as well while I was there, because let's not make anything any harder. Right, in the bottom of there now is all the 3865. So I'm going to actually leave that in the pouch for a little bit, and I'm going to get some of these done. So all the smaller bags that I only have 1 or 2 of, I think there's one of them that I have 8 of, but most of them are like 1 bag. They're just done for that little bit of shading. I'm just going to do all those first. Okay, that's 818. Quite a few of these colours are similar to the square as well. But when I have finished them both, I'll have a look and see what sort of colours are the same and what are different. But let's get all these little bags in first. 3861. Do you know, I cannot remember the last time I kit up a round painting that came with little bags. So the Diamond Art Club ones, of course, come with bags that are weighed, rather than these little bags that tend to hold about 200 diamonds, and you end up with multiple of them if you need more. I can't remember the last time I had little bags like this that had round diamonds in. It's always been squares that come in these little bags, and it's amazing how weird it looks to me to have rounds coming out of these bags. You get used to it, don't you? You just get used to, you know, especially if you do the same type of painting or the same company a few times, or maybe different companies but that follow a very similar pattern. You get so used to kitting up and de-kitting with theirs that as soon as you get something you're not used to, it's a little bit freaky. And I keep losing the ends because I am kitting up on the actual canvas itself. I'll have to just do a check when I've finished. Right, 3042. Oh, I've got a little random diamond left in the bottom of this one. That must have been from a previous painting, though I would have no idea which one it is. It has been a long time since I've used this little case, and I don't know why. I think it's just because I've had some new storage recently, or maybe it's just been because a lot of them have been bigger paintings with more colours. I've not got away with using this. They've been that small that I've used my 28 containers. Or of course those new 28 containers that I used for the last one of this, with that little bit in the bottom for storing extras, but I'm keeping those now for my little paint gem paintings because they work perfectly for those. Even if there's more colours than they'll hold, it still works better to have those projects kitted up in that storage. Okay, that's the big long one, so let's get these small ones. Oh, I've got a rogue diamond. We'll get all these ones done. This is actually going to be quite quick to kit up, I think. And I think a lot of that is because there is only one pack of a lot of these. It's just very, very simple to get put away. 844, or maybe it's just deceptive. So I think it's going to be quick, and then I'm going to get to doing the whites, and I'm going to be sick to the back teeth of cutting open little packets, and I'll be wanting Ziploc bags again. 3072. It's looking quite green, that 307. Then again, it is a light green. It's looking rather green though. 819. It's looking very pink. And I dropped one. Lots of nice pink colours for the logo. 415. It is quite surprising how many different shades that go into just around the edges of the letters and of the diamond. It's quite a few. Okay, let's see how many of these we can fit in now. So 778. I've got 8 packets. It would be nice if I could fit all 8 in, which may or may not happen. But let's do some 2s, and we might have to go down to single when I get further down. I feel like it's been ages since I've done a small one, and that's because I finished the square one not ages ago, but I haven't rushed. I suppose that's what it is. It hasn't been, you know, only a few days before I de-kitted the painting and then kitted up a new one. I left it a bit longer because I've really been enjoying doing the big one that I've been doing at the moment. Okay, oh, that didn't help. I kicked the pot. I think I might get this one in. I think it's going to be a squeeze. I'm kind of hoping that it does fit in. It does. So it's not ideal. If I had any more, then I would have stopped at 7 and left it at that, because I would have had ones left over anyway. Because I had exactly 8, then it was worth doing. So 3865 now. I have 41 of these. So the question is, can I get them in all the other pots that I've got left? Because they are these fiddly little bags, I would prefer to get them all in a pot if I can. So that's 4. And then 6. 6. And then 7, because 7 is the nice full. Let's have a look. So 2, 4, 6, 7. So that's another pot. 2, 4, 6, 7. 2 pots. 2, 4, 6, 7. 3 pots. 2, 4, 6, 7. 4 pots, which is how many pots I've got left. And then I do still have more. I have another 7. How did it? Must be, no, 41. Maths isn't working in my head. I do think I'd fit more in there though. I don't know whether to just try and squeeze the most I possibly can in. That, or I need to do another pot, use it up straight away. No, I think I'm going to get more in there. I think these mustn't be as full as the others. That, or I didn't count my 2, 4, 6 right. Because by my count, I got 9 in there. And it's very full, but if I can get them all, in fact that's fuller than the other one. If I can get them all in one case, that will be my sweet. That will be sweet. So I'm going to do the strip of 7 and then I'm going to see how many of the extras that I can fit in. The only reason I don't like to fill a pot to the brim is when I go to tip it into my tray, it tips out loads. And if I don't need many on the section I'm doing, so if I only need a small amount and it tips out loads, it, you know, I just don't like it as much. I prefer to be able to just tip out a few if that's all I need in a section. But because this is the white, which I am going to be doing in big sections anyway, it's not as big a deal. I just have to be careful when I tip into the pot the first time from a new pot. Oh look, I can get loads more in that one. Let's get a second one and open 2 at a time. And of course I didn't cut all the way through one of them anyway. Okay. I can get more in that if, in fact, I'm going to need to. I was just doing the maths in my head. I've got 4 packets left here. So I need to get at least 2 of those in at least one more pot. So we'll do it in that one. And then I'll get 1 extra in each of the rest of the pots and it will use that up. Math. Sometimes it works in my head, sometimes it doesn't. But it looks like they're all going to fit, so that makes me happy. Because it's just nicer when it all fits in a case. Even if I am going to be looking at the amount of white that I've got and thinking, oh. But on the squares, I did end up with a lot of the white left over when I'd finished. I did end up with loads of white left. So that could very well still happen. I could end up with quite a few bags of white left over. Quite a few pots of white left over that just go into my spares. Let's see if I can cut 2 together. Only works if I actually cut through the gap. So that pot is not quite as much of a squeeze, but it's still a squeeze. 2 more to go. And sometimes I think to myself, why am I moaning about how long this actually takes to put them into pots? Because it's going to take twice as long to actually put, 5 times as long, maybe even 10 times as long to actually get them down onto the canvas. Probably even more than 10 times long. See, let's not do any more maths, it's not working for me. But yeah, it's going to take me even loads more to get them onto a canvas. Never mind just getting them into a pot. Get rid of that rubbish piece while I'm there. Let's see see if I can get most of them in. These packets are quite nice for emptying into pots though. In fact, let's do that as a 2 and leave that one for the next one. One more, come on. No, you didn't want to go in. So how many diamonds have I got in here? 200 per one, so 1,600 diamonds, possibly 1,800, no, in fact 1,800 diamonds, no, 1,600 diamonds per pot. Some of them have got 1,800 diamonds in, those two have got 1,800. That is a lot of diamonds, a lot of diamonds. Whereas I'm getting 8 packets in each of the others, which makes it 1,600 diamonds per pot, and I managed to not cut through either of those. I got it right on the line. I couldn't do that if I wanted to normally. Any more rubbish? I'm just going to do these 2 singly. Because I keep having to recut them anyway. Ta-da! Done. So let's check for any plastic rubbish. All in there. Got my pot. I'm going to take off the front of my bag my label that tells me which one this is, and I often like to transfer that to whatever storage container I'm using. And the reason I do that is because quite often I will have 1 or 2 on the go, and sometimes they're very similar. Not all the time, but sometimes they are. And then I'm going to take this clear cover off, because I don't like clear covers. I'm just going to switch a battery on my charger, if you wondered what that noise was. And then I'm going to use my cover paper. And I'll be quite generous with my overlap. Just because there's no point in having a tiny piece at the end. I'd rather be generous with the overlap that I've got on the painting and allow myself to work on a smaller section of white if I'm not in the mood for a big section. I can always move them over to give me more room. So a little bit of overhang. Though I didn't end up pausing doing my square painting and moving, you know, and switching to my large. I did do, I think I may have done 1 or 2 of the small paint gem paintings in between, but I actually quite enjoyed doing a load of white. So I think the fact that I've left it a few weeks since finishing the square to do the round, I think that I'm not going to mind doing a load of white, because there's not much white in my Diamond Art Club painting. So canvas is prepped and ready. Cover paper's on. That can go back into my cart. I have all my diamonds in the tub, albeit not all straight. And I have my 3865, which I will either start with this tub and then switch the lids as I go, or I will just start here and work my way down and see if I end up using this tub at all. But yeah, my second Add More Zest logo is kitted up and ready to go. And yeah, I hope you'll join me when I de-kit this one. And then I will do a comparison between the two, just so that you can see the difference of a custom done by the same company, one in round, one in square, albeit quite a plain one. I think it will be a good thing for me to have as an example of what a round and a square looks like. But there's already a big difference on this one. So this one uses 3865 as the background, whereas the square one used 5200. So it will be interesting to see which logo looks good using each of those colours as a background. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll speak to you all again soon.